Hey everyone, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. In today's video, we are just having fun with effortless thrift flips. So let's go ahead and just hop straight into this video. For this DIY or thrift flip, we're going to use this traditional pots transfers. This is newer. It's not a part of their spring line, but it is newer. And I'm going to grab these from my stash. They were $2.99 each. I got them probably like 2 years ago. Everything you hear is going to be like 2 years ago because I, no joke, have so much that I have not used in my stash. So as with anything, if I am going to sell it, I am going to make sure that I remove the original tag and then of course the thrift tag as well. For this one, I had to use some heat. I also had to use some Goo Gone, and just ensure if you're going to use Goo Gone that you clean it with something afterwards, or you're going to have an oily film show up underneath your paint, which we do not want. So after I clean everything, I'm going to cut these out. These are gorgeous. These are going to be like, if you guys haven't been able to get like the crockery stamps, this is a great alternative, and this book is really great for beginners. So I'm going to take this first one. If you've ever made a cup, like rounded cup, well, obviously cups are round, oh gosh, with vinyl, then you know you need to cut slits in it to make it easier so your vinyl doesn't wrinkle. That's the same concept we're going to use here. So you can see I am putting slits all around my image. Now I'm going to lay it down. Now this is going to be a little tricky because it is a rounded surface. So I'm going to start at the top. This little plastic thing, scraper comes with the transfers. I'm going to peel that back. You're going to have to move very slowly when you're doing a rounded surface because you're going to have to do this in sections. So I did the top, and now I'm going to go towards the left and work my way to the right. The trick with these is just rubbing down on that transfer, and you're going to pull your transfer up kind of at the same time so that the image releases onto your surface. This worked very nicely with the metal. It stuck right away. I didn't prime it with anything. Now you'll see I'm working on the right side, slowly pulling up, and now I need to burnish that in. So taking that carrier sheet, I'm going to rub it really good onto that transfer to make sure that I don't have anything popping up and that it is adhered. I do the same thing for the second one with a different image. However, this one was trickier because it was wider and it had a little bit more like whimsical details towards the bottom, which kind of ended up being hard, but I made it work. I picked it up. I tried to find where it fit onto the image, and then I just rubbed back down on it with our little stick. I don't know why, I can't remember what this is called, scraper tool. And there we go. I burnish it the same way. And now I'm just going to take clear wax by DIY, and I'm going to buff that into our transfer so that I seal it on to this little enamel piece. And this was an effortless way of taking a thrift flip and just bringing it into, you know, what's trending right now. The French decor is hot. I love how these turned out. They would look good anywhere, and you can see you can really decorate them and fill them with different things seasonally. So these are going to be on my website for purchase. The link is down in the description box. Look at all of those details in those transfers. Oh my gosh. And I get them at thepaintedheirloom.com. Now for this one, I am going to marry these two pieces together. This is a great way of taking your odds and ends of thrift finds and finding purpose for them. And it's so easy. So I am going to clean everything to start off with. I always use my glass cleaner because it's a great degreaser as well. I'm going to take all of our original tags off, and then we are going to start painting. Now, I know you guys are like, look at that fancy lazy Susan Sammy has. Yes, $4.99 at Savers score. And I forget to turn it like in this entire video. All right, so I'm going bold here, and we're going to use DIY paint in Old 57. I know this color probably isn't anybody's jam, but you know what? Like I've been telling you, I'm going to do me. You do you. These are for inspiration, right? So I am going to paint the entire thing. I'm going to give this 2 coats of paint, and I am using my chip brush because this has a lot of detail at the base, and I want to make sure I get my paint in all of those beautiful details. I'm also going to be painting our bird cage. So this is where I feel like details really matter. And although this is a simple project, if you're going to resell something, or even, if you're going to display it in your home and you want to be proud of it, finish the project completely. So we are going to paint everything, the outside and the inside. And again, we're going to do 2 coats of this throughout. And I even do multiple coats on the cage because I could tell there was a little bit of streakiness, and although it didn't need 2 coats, I was like, I would notice the streakiness. So I have to do a second coat. I also made sure that I am painting inside the cage as well. Again, it's just those small details in finishing the project that it makes it look better. And yeah. All right. So after this, sorry, I smacked my lips right now. I'm going to grab my clear wax by DIY. All my DIY products I get at upcycledbybrie.com. Her link is in the description box. And I am going to put my clear wax over the entire bird cage, including the inside, so that I seal everything. I don't want paint chipping off when it gets to somebody's house. And then I'm also going to clear the base of what is going to, the actual cage has like a tea light holder inside of it. All right, so after I do that, I'm going to take dark wax. Now you want to do this while your clear wax is still wet. You're not going to wait for the clear wax to dry and then apply this. We want to do it while the clear wax is wet. And the reason we do that is because if we were to just put the dark wax directly onto our paint, that paint is just going to suck that dark wax up, and we're not going to be able to buff it out the way that we would want to. So you can see I'm applying in small sections, and then I'm buffing it out with a paper towel. Now this is where the magic happens. I get my stencil brush from Dollar Tree, and I am stippling that into all of those details. And I always make sure to use this brush just because the bristles really get under those details, and that's where we want our wax to stick. So again, taking that paper towel, I wipe it away. Remember, your wax is your sealer. No further steps needed. Look at that detail, you guys. Isn't that so cool? And I just thought, how awesome is it that we took 2 completely different items and we're able to form a decor piece for it? I just think that's really cool. So I do the same thing with the bird. And again, the little details. If I were to have just waxed the outside of this and then left the inside of the cage bright turquoise, that wouldn't have made sense to me if I was a buyer looking at it. So I always try to think that way when I am making and selling my home decor. So we are going to put that on and we are done. And look at how gorgeous this turned out. Look at all the detail in the bird. Unfortunately, I didn't have a glass tea light that fit in there, but I'm sure you can find one at a thrift store. And then that base is gorgeous. And I love that the dark wax darkened that old 57 up so it wasn't so bright and in your face. Hope you enjoyed. I'm back. You guys, I hope you're enjoying these DIYs. As I said, we're not going to just stick with spring. I'm going to do whatever my heart desires. If I am vibing everyday decor, if I want to throw some spring decor in the same video, it is going to happen. I am just going to go out, look at my DIY stash, my thrift flip DIY stash, and I'm just going to kind of go with whatever comes to mind or I have an idea for. So that is how these videos are going to roll from here on out. We're not going to just stick to seasonal things here. So you guys, I hope you guys are having fun in this video. I hope you guys get inspired. You're thinking outside the box and you are wanting to create after watching this. I did want to let y'all know that I am now selling salt wash. I'm really excited. This is the first time I've ever done this. As you guys have seen, I use IOD products, I use DIY paint, but I do not sell the items myself. So salt wash is my first kind of, step into that. So I'm really excited. I'm only going to have a limited quantity available to ship right away. And then we are going to move to pre-order. So hopefully if you're pre-ordering, you can hang tight with me. The shipping time may take a little bit longer, but it supports me, it supports our small business, and I would really appreciate it. And y'all know, if you're digging me, if you're digging the DIYs, if you are digging this video, then make sure to like and comment. It's an absolutely free way you can help me out on YouTube. And all my links are in the description box. Let's get back into the video. For this piece, this is not cast iron, but it is some kind of metal. And I've had it in my stash for a couple years. Again, like I'm trying so hard to go through my stash because I keep buying more. And this is going to be a great way, effortless way, of taking metal pieces and giving them new life, making them look French country. This is going to be what you want to do. I'm going to take the white wax by DIY. I'm taking a chippy brush, and we are just going to coat this entire piece with the white wax. And as I was doing this, John was like, oh, that's looking cool, as I like start wiping it away. And you'll see right here, we're also going to do the back as well. We need to finish this, right? So sorry, I'm like, why did I want to show you like the entire thing being done? Anywho, so I'm going to coat the base, coat everything. Sorry about that, you guys. And I am going to then take my paper towel, and we are going to completely wipe it. So you can see right away how beautiful that is and how it completely changes the look of this piece. John was sitting there and he was like, wow, that looks really cool, but does that wax just sit there? Will it dry? And it will dry. You just need to let it cure. You want to leave it in all of those beautiful details. Don't wipe it all away. We're just buffing it. And then after 24 hours or a little longer, it will cure and it won't feel like oily to the touch anymore. So I make sure that I do the entire back of this piece, and I'm also going to do like behind the front detail as well, because you can still see it. And I will just, again, I'm going to take that paper towel. You could also use an old t-shirt. You can use a microfiber cloth. And I'll show you that at the end, okay? Now I'm going to take an actual cast iron candle holder. And this one actually turned out a lot differently. So I'm taking the same white wax, same brush, but this one, the details weren't as engraved in. So the white wax, when I wiped it back, it ended up more so kind of like buffing into it instead of leaving, a bunch of the white wax into the details, because it wasn't as deep, I guess you could say, like the detail wasn't. So I wipe it all back, and then I'm like, oh wait, let's try dark wax over the white wax and see what happens. Well, I was like, all it did was make it dark again. So I put white wax over it again. But then I was like, you know what? I like the little bit of dark wax on there because it makes it look like, I don't know, dirt blew over the candlestick, or that it's been sitting in somebody's house for 50 years. So I ended up dusting over it, and I really liked the way that it turned out. And it was really crazy how I took two items and used the same concept, but they turned out differently. Say wow, like it was beautiful and stunning before, but this turned out so pretty, and all of those details just like are in your face. This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. And how easy was it to take this thrifted find and just turn it into some beautiful home decor? This was the second one, the cast iron candle holder, and you can see the difference. The wax didn't like settle into much of the detail. It could have been the texture of the cast iron along with the details, but it still is absolutely beautiful. You could see a little bit of that dark wax. I love them. All right, our last one for today. I am going to take this box. I got it at Salvation Army for $5.98. And if you guys are like, Sammy, that fancy paintbrush, where'd you get it? You guys, I have been seeing Bree and all of the other creators use these awesome paintbrushes, and I was like, I want fancy paintbrushes like that too, because I want to be like them, And so what did I do? I went on Amazon and I bought a 3-pack of $10 brushes. Like, it was $10 for all 3 of them. I want to be fancy, you guys. I'm like bougie on a budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how my crafting style is. And if I could find something that's inexpensive, but like fancy, I'm going to get it. So I'll put these in my Amazon store. This was the only one out of the 3 I've used so far. And I was actually really impressed with the quality of the paintbrush. So moving on here, I am taking Prairie Gray by DIY, and I am going to paint the bottom, the top, and the inside. I will note, I wish I would have waited to paint the entire inside at one time, because you could see on the left, when I had it upside down, I put paint there, it dried, and it left a ridge. I probably could have sanded it down, but at the time I wasn't thinking. I think I got like, frustrated, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Just wasn't thinking clearly. I think that happens to all of us. So after it is completely painted, I am going to just take a baby wipe and I'm going to wet distress. I am not going to go like super crazy with this. At first I thought I was going to take white wax, but I was like, the base of this is a nice cream color anyways, so let's wet distress. I'm going to go ahead and get like around all of the frame work, and then I'm going to also get the florals on the top and the bottom. And just remember, when it comes to wet distressing, the more pressure you're going to put down, the more paint you're going to take off. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, we do have to seal this because DIY paints are water soluble. So if anything were to fall on this, the paint would come off. So you need to make sure that you're sealing your items. Now, you can use any sealer for DIY paints or chalk paints. I could use polyacrylic if I wanted to, spar urethane. DIY sells Big Top, which is like a clear coat as well. Rust-Oleum sells a chalk matte clear, and then I am going to use wax. So I have been liking the way the wax finishes on these projects, because I like that it still keeps that like matte look to it instead of making it shiny, which polyacrylic would do, and it would also make our paint a lot darker. So for instance, if I would have taken this and used Big Top or polyacrylic on top of it, it would stay this dark color. It's not going to dry down to be a lighter color like it is. So keep that in mind when you are using those clear coat projects, but really anything's going to work, and it's all going to be based off of your preference. I did miss a step here though, you guys, and after I am done clearing this entire piece, I do go over the florals with the gold gilded wax by DIY. I accidentally cut that out. And y'all know I'm extra, and I'm all about the little tiny details. So taking one of the new stamps from IOD, I'm going to go ahead and prep it with a sanding block. I'm going to use my IOD black permanent ink, and then I am going to stick this on the top of the opening of this box. So you can see right here, I'm going to press it down, and then as I lift it, I realized the head wasn't quite on there. So all you got to do is lay it back down and press it. And now I will let that dry for like 30 minutes, and then I'm going to clear the entire inside of this as well. And it's just those added little details. And this was easy, you guys. We took something that was outdated, it was scratched up, and we added some paint and distressing, and look at how beautiful it turns out. Sorry about the baby, but look at the detail of the stamp. This actually is, I feel like, a little lighter, no, darker in person, just a tad bit. And you can see the gold wax that I just brushed slightly on top. It was so beautiful, you guys. I hope you enjoyed these really easy thrift flips. I hope you have successful thrift store finds or garage sales or yard sales. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me, and all of these items are going to be on my website available for purchase, and the link is in the description box. Take 2. Let's see. I got lip gloss in my paintbrush container because that's how I roll. All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to Unicorn. Am I doing this again? No? Yeah? I don't know. Hi there, welcome to Unicorn. Now, spit it out. Come on, get it right. While watching. Ding. Oh. Dang, I'm extra. Extra. Extra, extra, read all about it. Yeah, I'm wearing my gym clothes underneath this. I need to actually do this. You guys, the baby sleeps in our bedroom. So I don't have my closet. So I've just been grabbing my flannels that like I still have to put a design on. So I need to do one. Isn't this one fun? I thought about a stamp, but I don't think the back is like too white. Okay, I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.